Hi guys, welcome to the Booking Hour. This is Erica Phoenix, and I'm in the studio with HD Gordon and Jessica Gibson. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you both for coming, and Jessica, obviously. So tonight we'll be reading the first bit of The Harder I Fall, a sweet new adult contemporary written by Jessica. It's a heartwarming tale of Becca, a sweet girl with a dream to be more than what she's labeled. So, Jessica,
Yes.
hot seat, jump in.
Okay. So I'm going to read you a little bit of the first chapter and the prologue. So I hope you guys enjoy. Franny, wait up, I yelled and ran after the small girl in front of me. She never listened, always wanted to make her away, to see everything. Hurry, Becca, we're almost there. Her smile was infectious. Just ahead, I could hear the water boiling. The sound of the waterfall was almost deafening. Hey, be careful, I told her. It's steep on this side of the river. She didn't listen, just kept running. This is amazing. The water's making rainbows. She turned back to wave me forward. I saw her slip and heard her shriek of terror as she tumbled off the side of the rocks into the rushing water. Franny! I sprinted to where she had fallen. There was nothing left of her, no trace. The water had taken her away. I jolted awake, my nightgown clinging to my sweaty skin. The dreams were all different, but also the same. Franny was gone before I could save her. Just like in real life, I couldn't save her, and I was doomed to never get over it. College would be different. I would be different. No one knew the person I was at home. I could be anyone I wanted. I crept into my brother Chad's room. It was early, but I figured it would be easier to leave now than to deal with my mom. Chad, wake up, I whispered. Becca? He rubbed his eyes and sat up. I'm leaving now. It's easier this way. He nodded. When will you be back again? Not for the first time, I considered staying. The guilt of leaving him was going to kill me. I'll come home for Christmas. Then you and I can go somewhere fun, just the two of us. I clutched him tightly to my chest. I'm going to miss you, he smiled sadly at me. Back at you, kid. I don't know how I'm going to get along without you. I wiped at the tears streaming down my cheeks. You'll be too busy to miss me. He tried to sound nonchalant. It didn't work. I could hear the tremor in his voice. I'll never be too busy for you. Call me any time and I'll be there. Just remember, it's only for a few more years and then you can come with me. He helped me load my bags into the beater car I had bought a few weeks earlier. See you when I see you, he hugged me. Love you more than anything, Chad. I kissed his cheeks and got into the car before I lost my nerve. I watched him in the rearview mirror until he disappeared behind the trees. This was the beginning of my new life. Anything was possible. They say that time heals all wounds. I'm not sure I believe that. I think some wounds go too deep and they fester. No matter what you do, they mark you, scar you. Some things just won't go away no matter how far you run. Here it was, the first day of the rest of my life. I'd never traveled outside of my small town. Now here I was in Rhode Island going to Brown University. I was scared out of my mind that this was going to be a train wreck. I've never been what you would call good with people. I stood on the outside of my dorm room, staring at the drab red color. Was I supposed to knock? Should I just go in? I wasn't sure of the protocol. Finally, I put on my brave face and turned the knob. Thank goodness it opened. A pretty girl with jet black hair and green eyes stared back at me as I crossed into the room. Hiya, you must be my roomie. I'm Sadie, nice to meet ya. She hugged me, which took me by surprise. I don't generally like to be touched, but hey, this was the new me, right? Yeah, I guess that's me. I'm Becca. I took a step back and dropped my bags on the carpeted floor. My hands came up to twirl my long auburn hair around my finger. It was one of those nervous habits you never know you're doing. Which bed do you want? She gestured to the beds in the adjoining room. I'm not picky. You take what you want and I'll be fine. I picked up my bags again and wandered into the bedroom. It was decently sized for a dorm room, with a desk and bed for both of us and a closet and two dressers. Everything was done in various shades of beige, very bland. So, Becca, where are you from? I'm from California. This is so crazy for me. I've never been on the East Coast. She talked a mile a minute. I'm from Washington, I replied, and prayed that she would leave it at that. Ooh, so it rains a lot there, huh? She stretched out on the bed closest to the window. Yeah, we get a lot of rain, I murmured and set about unpacking my bags. Sadie sat on her bed and watched me unpack. I swear I could hear her brain working. So what classes are you taking? She was clearly trying to break the ice, and I knew I should let her. I'm taking general ed. I think with a journalism class added in. I took out my point shoes and leotards and set them on top of my dresser. I felt better. Just holding them in my hands soothed my nerves. Cool. Is that what you want to major in then? Not sure yet. I think so. What about you? I sat on the bed opposite her and fiddled with my hair again, trying not to be nervous. This is what people did. They talked with other people about their lives. I was normal now. I'm not sure what I want to major in. I mean, it's silly to expect someone our age to know what they want to do for the rest of their lives, isn't it? I'm going to take general ed in a biology class. I'm leaning towards medicine, but I really don't know. Her green eyes were animated as she spoke. This was someone who wanted to know me, wanted to be my friend. It was sad that this was such a foreign concept to me. No one in my high school would give me the time of day. The only person who had told me I was special was my dance teacher. She had spent a lot of extra time with me, helping me hone my skills. Everyone knew about me and my family. I was branded the second my dad did what he did, and that was the end of it. People thought I was crazy, so I was. People thought I was a druggie or a slut, so in their minds, that's exactly what I was. I guess it was partly my fault, though. I never bothered to correct them. There's a party on our floor tonight. Want to go? Sadie smiled at me expectantly. Sure, that sounds fun. I tried to make my voice sound more confident. Sadie spent the next hour telling me everything there was to know about her. I now knew all about the small town she was from in Northern California and about her two brothers and her parents. Also how sad she was to leave her best friend Cammie to come to school. She showed me picture after picture of everything and everyone important to her. Don't worry, there won't be a quiz after this, she winked at me. In that moment, I knew we would be friends.
Ooh. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can we see the book cover again?
Yeah.
All right, so that is The Harder They Fall?
Yeah, this is The Harder I Fall. I just released on the 1st of this month the book that comes. I guess I would call it book 1.5 because the second book in the series is called The Deeper We Get, and it focuses on Chad, Becca's brother. But everybody was begging me for more of Becca and Levi, who's the male lead in this. So I wrote After They Fell, and that takes place directly after this one ends. So it's just brand new.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
that is this your 10th book? I know you've written quite a few
Oh,
books.
geez. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Is it bad that I don't remember like the full number? I think it's 10.
I
have to always ask my team, like, so what number book are we on? And or when I'm doing a list, they're like, oh, you missed this book. I'm like, oh, how do you miss your own book?
No, I do it all the time. I'm like, oh, right, I did write that. Yeah.
So when did you get started in indie publishing?
2011, I want to say. Yeah, so it's been a while. When I started, it was kind of one of those things that I'd always wanted to do. I'd always wanted to write a book. And that summer was the summer I had a conversation with my sister-in-law, Angela, and she said to me she wanted to do things that were scary that wouldn't kill her. And I remember listening to her talking about all the things she was going to do that summer and feeling a little bit sad because I never did that. I never stepped out and did stuff that was scary, that wouldn't kill me. So I talked with my husband and I said, I think I want to do this. And he said, why don't you? It's never been easier. Amazon has their own, Amazon's amazing for self-publishing and they have, so many different ways to do it. So I did, and I've never looked back. It's been a crazy journey. I'll definitely say that.
So you've been in the game about probably the same amount of time as Erica and I.
Yeah.
How do you think things are different now?
Geez. You know what? Things have changed a lot. They really have. I want to say when I started, I felt really alone because I didn't know anybody and I didn't know all the resources that there were. So I felt like I was just kind of winging it. And now that there's so much information out there. There's so many books written on how to make it in self-publishing and that kind of stuff. And there's so many author groups. And that's I think that's huge. I think the indie community is like a family, and in a lot of ways, we support each other, and we're happy for each other when we have our successes, and I love that feeling.
Absolutely. What do you think? Where do you think we're heading with the publishing industry? Do you have any predictions about whether ebooks are going to keep gaining popularity?
I think they will. Yeah, I think they will. I think ebooks are definitely going to always be something that that's going to be here. I think I honestly think that paper books are probably going to be going away eventually, you know,
Don't say that.
because I know, but honestly, I will tell you this. Ever since I got my Kindle, I want to say 4 years ago, I don't read from a paper book ever
It's
because
hard for me too.
I'm too impatient, and when I want to read the next book in the series, I want to read it now. So I like to be able to just click and read it. Plus, I hate using a book light at night, so I just read either on my iPad or on my Kindle. So, but yeah, I definitely think that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I have this obsession that if I like a book in e-format, then I'll go out and I'll buy the audiobook, which I'll end up listening to eventually, and then I'll also buy the paperback. Like I have to have a physical on my shelf.
No, I like to do that too. I hoard
Apocalypse
them.
people, we need to have books.
No, I do hoard them. I hoard my signed books. Like I never read my signed ones though. I like to keep them looking nice and pretty. So I do have a whole 3 shelves in one of my closets that's just all signed books that I'll never read, but I hoard them. They're so pretty and I like them.
I don't trust people who read their signed copies. I'm like, why are you doing that? Stop.
I know. Just buy an ebook copy of it.
Definitely true. You've probably gained over that amount of time. So let's see, that's 4 or 5 years almost independently publishing, which is seriously an accomplishment because it's not for everybody. It takes a lot. So what other than don't give up and keep writing, what's one piece of advice you'd give to a new writer?
I just want to say a few things first. Aside from writing, I'm also an author coach. And this is the biggest piece of advice I tell people. Treat this like a job. If you don't take yourself seriously in this, nobody else will. So set a schedule and stick to it. And surround yourself with people that will lift you up and not pull you down. So get people who are like-minded, who want to see you succeed, and make that your team. Get an awesome team behind you, and there's nothing you can't do. So that's the biggest piece of advice I would say. Obviously never give up because, don't give up.
Yeah.
But yeah, treat it like a job. That's what it is. Even if it's not your full-time job, take it very seriously. Because if you're just, if it's not something you really want, you're not going to succeed in it. So you have to really want it, and you have to treat it like a job, put your calendar, get your calendar together, and stick to it. That's what I've got one of my girls that I do author coaching for, Belinda Boring, who's probably gonna hate me for saying this.
Yeah, we know.
I know she's.
Hi, Belinda.
I love Bells. She's Bells is my best friend. She's the biggest thing that I've gotten out of writing is her. I'm gonna say that. She's the best thing I've gotten. She's my best friend. I talk to her every day.
I think we
amazing.
all have those experiences. We are very much like a family.
Seriously.
Very important.
But I have her, she prints out a calendar every month, and she has her writing days, and she has to show me she puts a sticker on each day, and she has to show me her stickers at the end of the week. But, it's whatever you have to do that's going to keep you motivated. It's self-doubt is a scary thing, and you've got to stay motivated. So whatever you need to do personally to stay motivated, that's what you need to do. So for her, it's putting stickers on. And at the end of her month, if she shows me all of her stickers and she gets all of her days in her week, I promised her I'd do something special for her. So it's for me with the girls that I do the monthly boot camps and I do the monthly author coaching. My biggest thing is being their cheerleader and making sure that they feel like it's not scary. So yeah.
That's great. I always say that the number one thing that writers need is encouragement. Because so definitely building your tribe, building your community is really important. So that's an awesome piece of advice.
Yeah.
So one was what we talked about in our 7 things to remember when you're publishing is that you do need to treat it like a business. I think that's one thing that a lot of authors, new and old, take for granted. Oh, I have a day job, so this is gonna kind of be like my second day job.
Yeah.
But they don't take it seriously like they're supposed to.
Yeah.
That's right. So what do you think is the hardest lesson you've learned since you began publishing?
Oh, geez. Okay, so I think the hardest lesson I've learned I learned it right away. Be professional. Like, it's not that I'm saying that I was unprofessional. It was, I didn't know when I started, like I said, I didn't know anything. So I didn't realize using an editor was like somebody other than a family member reading over, you know, like checking for grammar, having a professionally done cover. Like, be professional. That's the hardest lesson I've learned, because people will tear you apart in your reviews if you're not professional. If you don't use somebody to look over your work, you'll get torn apart. So that's the hardest lesson I've learned, is to not do everything myself.
Definitely. I think that extends too into behaving professionally.
Yes.
So especially, yes. Preach,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, I cringe so many times. I cringe on Facebook, especially, you know, the last couple days. We've all seen it. So I don't know any of the people involved. I didn't get involved in it. I never do. My biggest piece of advice too is to keep your author profile just about that. Don't talk politics. Don't talk religion. Don't talk any of that. You know, there's no place for it. I'm sorry. It's polarizing, and you're either going to gain gain fans, which probably won't happen, or you'll lose them, which is going to be, you know, probably the most probable thing that will happen. So keep it professional, keep it classy. Nobody wants to follow the person that's always causing the drama. So
Totally agreed.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is going to be our last question, and then we'll let you add your pitch or tell us about anything that's coming up that you're excited about, and tell people where they can find you. But how are you different as like a person from when you began publishing? How has this affected you in your life, in the way you view yourself, in the way you view your world? What's different about you?
Okay, let's see. I'd say that I'm a lot more confident. I used to be, well, I'm still introverted because I am, and I'm always better behind a computer screen. But I kind of pushed myself out of my box.
Got you on here?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, I always am better when I'm typing behind my screen. It's easier for me because I feel like I can be more honest that way, rather than having somebody staring at me talking to me, you know. But I feel like I'm different because this has pushed me to be more confident, and it's pushed me out of my box of, I don't want to go do this because it's scary. So like going to signings and stuff, that scares me, but I do it anyway because it's fun and I love to meet people. But it's still, I feel weird the whole time that I'm there. I feel like by the time the person has left, I feel like I've talked them out of buying my book. You know, like I just feel like a weirdo when I do stuff like that. But yeah, like I just say it's given me confidence, you know.
That's awesome. I think we feel the same way. So
Yeah.
where can readers find you? Where do they find you?
I'm all over. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Jessica J. Gibson. You can look me up on Facebook, Jessica Gibson. I have an author page. I also have a fan page. It's author Jessica Gibson fan page. You just search it and you'll find it. And we do fun stuff there every day. We've got, you know, daily memes that we do, and I love to interact with people and meet new people. Yeah, let's see, my pitch. Let's see, what can I say? Like I said, I had a new book out the beginning of the month, and I was going to be writing more paranormal, and then everybody said they wanted another couple from the world that I was working on with The Harder I Fall and After They Fell. So yeah, so now I've had to shift gears, and so now I'm working on I'm not sure if it's going to be a novella or a full book for Sadie and Julian. Sadie, who you heard about in the beginning of the intro that I did. So, and Julian's another character from the book. So everybody wanted them. So you got it.
For the readers, that's right. That's good advice too. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you
for having me.
Yeah, and everybody check Jessica and her workout. She's obviously awesome. She's a vet, and we can't wait to see you next time. Erica?
Yeah, before we leave, I'd also like to let all our watchers know that the book that Jessica read, The Harder I Fall, is 99 cents right now across all platforms. Am I correct on that, the ebook?
Yeah, it's 99 cents.
It's also free on Kindle Unlimited, so that's always a big bonus. So make sure to check out the links that I've posted on this video on the Google Plus and as well as YouTube, and we'll be doing the share. So If you do read it, as always, leave a review.
Review.
No, it must be author. Leave a review. That's how you show your appreciation. Leave a review. If you thought even 1 star, 2 stars, we love it all.
Yep.
So is there anything you'd like to add, Jessica?
Nope, but thank you guys so much for having me. I really had so much fun, and thank you for everybody who's watching.
Thank you, guys. Bye.